Hi, everybody. John Harris here with you. It's Sunday morning. We know it's a little late, but we're going to get our picks to you because we know you're sitting by the chair on the edge of their seat going, what the hell are these two guys going to do? I can't bet until I hear from them. Well, here we go. Get ready to make your last minute bets on either DraftKings, which has been our favorite spot, FanDuel, or wherever you want to go. We got baseball playoffs. We'll talk about them real fast. But before we do, I want to mention my pal Dennis Ingraldi from Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, for all your real estate needs, whether they be business, whether they be residential. Make sure you contact Dennis and the folks at Vineland Realty Corporation. Once again, that's 634 East Landis Avenue, and we're going to get the phone number here for you. Because if they can't help you themselves, they will get a resource for you. They have plenty of resources out there to help you. So whether it's residential, whether it's a business realty need, you want to rent, lease, buy, sell, the guys and the staff at Vineland Realty, especially Dennis is I like to call her his girl Friday. She does a little bit of everything down there. And his sales staff will give you a hand. Their number is 856-690-9482, 856-690-9482, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Get down there, Vineland Realty Corporation. Tell Dennis and the folks that we sent you. And we thank Dennis for supporting us. All of the Public John shows, which there's more coming. Wow, we're busy, Bill. Busy. Been a busy weekend. Friday, and, Saturday.
Yeah. First of all, I want to congratulate you on winning the comedy contest the other day.
Thank you,
I heard
sir.
you knocked it out of the park.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it went good. Winning it was always nice. Winner, rubber chicken dinner. I don't know if anybody can see it, but probably not. It doesn't look like it's got the big old trophy there, but you can always go on Facebook.
You can see a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, guys. It's either on the John Harris comedy page or my main page, or the Public John Media page, and you can get a glimpse of the big old trophy. Took it down to the karaoke site last night, and people from town were coming in, and I was letting them take a picture with me, like the Stanley Cup. I'm like, this is its one time out, and then it's nice. Going on a shelf, and it's going to sit predominantly in the house, which was kind of nice. I was surprised there was a trophy involved as well, so it was kind of neat. Awesome. Friend of mine, Ben Dombrowski, put together a pretty good show, a really nice show. So it was a lot of fun.
Very good.
But let's move on from that personal. Thank you, Bill, very much for acknowledging that and for the congratulations. I appreciate it. You've seen me before, so you know,
you're one funny dude.
it can get vicious. I can get a little vicious, but most of the time it works out great. So,
and that's what sounds and looks.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Well, who's the comic this morning, you son of a? Easier said than done? No, Bill says it's easy. Watch this. Oh, speaking of losing, first off, let's talk about our baseball picks. I was 2-2, and I was the better of us. It was a brutal, for a lot of people, brutal way to pick baseball games. Phillies obviously beat Atlanta. We both lost on that. Bill took Baltimore. I took Texas. I got fortunate and Texas won. The Rangers beat Baltimore. Minnesota, Bill took them over Houston. I took Houston. I was fortunate there, and Houston won. And the Dodgers, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are both waiting to still get to second base for the first time in the series. Talk about choking. Oh, my God. Freeman and Betts just couldn't deliver, but the Dodgers pitching wasn't good either. They've been hurt by pitching injuries, but that's not to make an excuse. Arizona played very well, and Arizona beat them. Deserved it. So we both missed on that one. Bill, for postseason baseball, is struggling, folks. He won't
follow the Mendoza line.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, you are actually. I feel bad. Or you're right at it. You're right at it, I think, at
I'm right
200.
at the Mendoza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right at it. And I am right at 500. So you would think in baseball terms, I'm doing great. In betting terms, not so much. Sucking the air right out of the relationship with the inflatable date after I give her a needle. Other than that, air's gone. So what we've got left is Arizona versus the Phillies in Philadelphia. I want to pick Arizona because picking Atlanta against them worked. So, but let me put it here. We got AZV Philly, and we've in the American League, we've got excuse me, I'm sorry, Houston and Texas, the two Western Division guys. So who you got, Bill?
We're gonna go with the Phillies with the home field advantage. I think that's gonna come into play. Even though Arizona is an exciting team to watch, I like the young
They are,
teams.
they are.
They were like Baltimore. I was hoping Baltimore would have got there too, because it's just the young guys playing their hearts out. So,
Yeah.
but we'll take the Phillies. I think they'll probably win in let's say 5 games probably.
Okay. I'm taking the Phillies as well. I think it might go 6, but I think it's going to be the Phillies as well. Let's write it down. There we go. I think the Phillies starting pitching might be a little better. I think they have an extra bat or two. And you got to remember, the Phillies just won against Atlanta, and Schwarber was cold.
Yeah.
If he heats up and these other guys stay hot, it could be a 4-gamer.
The thing is, I still don't understand how he's batting leadoff. I mean, what?
I don't get. Well, it came out his on base percentage actually is one of the highest in the league because he draws a lot of walks too. So between the
Yeah,
walks and the homers and the occasional base hit, that's not a homer, which isn't very often, his on base percentage is actually very high. So to get the production, I guess, home runs and RBIs, you're like, well, we'll live with that. I
yeah,
really think Turner should be lead off, and that was the original plan. And I think they started out with that, but then he started so cold that they felt, well, let's go back to what worked last year.
yeah.
But all right, Texas and Houston, Bill.
I think this is a coin flip. I mean, after Texas beat my team, I kind of rather see them and somebody new in the World Series. But Houston, they're there every year.
Yeah, yeah, they
Um,
are.
so yeah, the Battle of Texas here. So
Yeah,
I think Scherzer's back on the roster for
he is.
Texas.
He is.
Uh,
And I think they're planning to start him. Not game 1, I don't think, but I think he is planning to be one of the starters.
yeah, you know what? Hell with it. Let's go with Texas. I don't want to see a
Oh,
repeat of last year's World Series.
ooh. Oh, Texas? You don't want to say a repeat, is that what you said?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want to see a repeat.
yeah, I don't either, but I did pick Texas as well. I think Texas's bats, if they get decent pitching, I think their bats are too much. I think they're dangerous. I already had Texas picked as well, so
Okay.
but that one could go 6 or 7.
Yeah, no
Because
doubt. Yeah.
Houston does deliver in the clutch. Their bats are good in the clutch. Verlander's pitching well. And their number 1 guy, because I don't consider Verlander even their number 1 guy. I think he's the number 2. And I can't remember his name. And Yordan Alvarez, he's liable, he can rip the cover off the ball. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but then you got Seager, and you got guys over on Texas side. Could be tough. But I'm taking Texas as well. So we don't really have difference, pal. I guess we're not going to be able to make up any ground on me. So,
No, no.
but it is what it is. It's time to go into our weekly NFL picks as we put aside our baseball for now. Basketball is getting ready to start in the NBA, but it hasn't started yet. The NHL has started. Philly won their first game. I saw that. They lost the next one though, I think, right?
Yeah, they lost Ottawa yesterday.
Yeah. So that is what it is. See what happens. My team, the Panther. Some people are picking my team to come out of. It's my newest team. I'm still pissed off about the Kate Smith thing. Yes, I hold a grudge. But yeah, if they ever wake up and fix their Kate Smith PR problem, then I'll obviously come back to the bandwagon. But I'm a jerk, and I think it was a corporate decision just to try to suck up to everybody, and all about money, and
Yeah.
the woman's legacy is tarnished, and I think that's bullshit. So
Yes, I agree.
there we go. No kids now. So, but right now, time for the NFL picks. We both had our first pick on Thursday night for this week. We both took the Chiefs across the board. The only difference was the over. Well, no, we didn't. I apologize. You took Denver to cover,
Yes,
and
and they
you
lost by
missed
half a point.
by half a point. That stinking field goal got you. And you took the under. You won that one. I took the over, obviously, and lost because Denver did even less than I thought. And the Chiefs didn't really pour it on like I thought they would. So you got the over on that one. Last week you went. I had it all written down, and now it's gone. You son of a. Oh, wait a minute. It might have been here. If it's not. Oh, yep. Here it is, I think. Yes. Yeah, last week was the one. There are some people out for this week. Watson's out for Cleveland, their quarterback. Daniel Jones is out for the Giants. I feel bad for him. Buffalo's pass rush is coming for Tucker. Tucker's starting. Oh, that's a shame. So there's going to be some issues. I do not know why we don't have everything available from last week. Oh, no, we don't. And I apologize. I was right here and it's not here anymore. So, and that doesn't help. I do know that you had a great week. You had 11 wins, if I remember correctly, with the spread. You had 11 wins both ways. And I did not. You did gain some ground on me. I think in picks, we are dead even because you really made some ground and I did not. And against the spread, you're right there. So I'll find that later on and relay that to people. But you made up some heavy ground on me this week, brother. I wasn't below 500, but I think if I remember correctly, my picks for the spread were right at 500. Best was, 9 wins, but I don't think so. I think I was right at 500 for the week. And like I said, you were 11-3, both in picks and in that against the spread. Neither one of us did great on over under, but I think you edged me out a little bit on that. So you had a good week, and
finally
you crushed it. Because remember there were only 14 games, so you were 11-3. That's some good work, my friend. So
maybe they could play 14 games all year.
every week, right? Well, this week there's only 2 teams on a bye, Green Bay and Pittsburgh. So I guess there's 15 games this week. So that might hurt your chances a little bit. We'll see. All right. So Baltimore, Tennessee. Baltimore's picked by 5.5, and over under is 42.5. And these are all pretty much up to date as I went on DraftKings literally just before the show.
Yeah, this I think this is going to be a snooze fest, to be honest with you.
I'm with you.
I don't see this being too exciting game. I mean, hopefully it is. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I like the Ravens here, but I do like the Titans and getting a 5.5, and I take the under.
That was my thought. I took the under, but I did take Baltimore across the board. But I did take the under as well. I think you're right. I think it's going to be a if you're watching this game, get your nap in early. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. San Francisco against Cleveland. And like we said, Watson is out at quarterback. So I think Tyler Smith is starting, the lefty quarterback.
Yeah,
I
it's
think your boy is starting today. He's got as good a shot as anybody else.
yeah, this is another one. I think the over under is 36.
It is. Yep.
I think the 49ers can score 36 alone, and I think Cleveland will get one of those late touchdowns possibly.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're 9.5. I'll
Yeah.
give the 9.5. I mean, San Francisco is the best team in football right now, so I will
Yeah. And
take the
without your
49ers
number
across the
one
board.
quarterback, who's not playing great anyway, but without him,
Yeah, nah,
yeah,
it's
I'm with you. That's what I did. San Francisco across the board in the over.
good.
Miami and Carolina, it's in Miami. 47.5 points on the over under. Miami is favored by 14.5.
That's a lot
A
of
lot of
points.
points.
But the Panthers' offense is
It is
dismal.
awful.
I mean, just
It's
plain off.
awful. I mean,
I think I think you could give the Panthers 20 and they still won't cover.
you
That's
might be right
you
because
just can't put. They don't have no offense to keep up with Miami. That's
no,
just
you know,
so. I'll take Miami across the board and the over.
I did the same thing. You know, of course, because we said that, it'll probably end up
Being a
either
10-point
huge
game.
upset or a real close, low scoring game or some shit. But no, I did the same thing. I just don't see it. Carolina, um, if they want offense, they might as well get a hold of Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, who have no offense either. So I mean, yeah, there's nothing there. So I'm with you on that. Um, Minnesota against the Bears in Chicago. It's 43.5 points. Minnesota is picked by 3.
Yeah, and Minnesota's without the best receiver in football, Justin Jefferson.
Yep. Yep. He's out. He's on
So they
IR,
will.
I think. So he's going to be out for 4 weeks,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. They last I heard 4 to 6 weeks, and that's not good with my fantasy team.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
and
So,
I also had that A-Chan from Miami who was on the IR
oh,
also.
did you really?
So
Oh,
I got them
man.
both on the same team, so it's gonna be
Mm,
a painful four to
four
six
to
weeks.
6 weeks for you. Oh,
Um, but I think KJ Osborne comes in and tries to fill the void for Minnesota, and I'll take Minnesota, and I'll take the over.
all right. I did as well, only because the over seems a little low to me at 43.5
Hmm.
for an NFL game, but you never know. You're right. But I did the same thing. Indianapolis, I'm sorry, the Colts and the Jaguars. The Jags are picked by 4. The over under is 44. A lot of fours in there.
Yeah, this one, Richardson just came out today and said he might have surgery, which might end up in being out for the rest of the season.
Out for the season. I like
Uh,
Minshew,
he's
but I don't
athletic.
think there's enough around him.
Yeah, he's athletic, and I mean, but that's gonna be a big piece they're missing.
Yeah.
But I think they're a better passing team with Minshew in there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he still has some receivers. He's got a rookie receiver in Downs. He's got Michael Pittman.
Hmm.
I'm going to take Jacksonville because I think they're on a roll after last week against Buffalo. Um, the only difference is the 4, and this is a division game. I think Jacksonville might only win by 3, so I'll take the 4.
Okay. It was close for me because it was 4. I took Jacksonville for some reason. If it was 3, I might have taken the Colts, and I don't know why my thinking it's you would think that's reversed, but for
Yeah.
some reason, and it probably is. I'm probably just in a fog. My brain is uh, not working on all the cylinders. I did
You
take
don't
the under though.
you don't want the extra point by the Colts. Is that what
Apparently
it is?
not. Yeah. But I'm thinking about it. And if I but I don't think so. I think I'm going to stick with Jacksonville. I did take the under
Mhm.
because I just get the feeling the Colts are going to have some trouble scoring. I can see this being like a 21-17 game. So a little bit below that over under
Mhm.
44. Um, so I'm going to take Jacksonville and the under. You took the over. Let me log at. Seattle, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's picked by 3. The over under is 45.
Yeah, Bengals at home. They got back on track last week. Joe Burrow looks like he's finally starting to come over that calf injury.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's a long flight from Seattle to Cincy. So
Yep.
I think there'll be some jet lag there. I'm going to take the Bengals, who should be on a roll soon, and take the over.
I think I did the same. Yes, I did. Though I toyed with it with Cincinnati with Seattle, but I think what hurts Seattle is they don't have a running game really. Short passing is what they have.
Mhm.
Cincinnati, I think, can handle that defensively. And I think their offense is coming around. They're starting to protect Burrow. I think that calf is getting better. He looked a little more mobile last week. Jamar Chase is on a tear. Um,
Mhm.
and I think as long as they give uh, jumping Joe Burrow some time, Joe Cool, some time in the pocket, Chase could have another field day.
Mhm.
So I'm with you on that. And I took Cincinnati in the over as well to cover across the board. New Orleans and Houston. New Orleans picked by 1.5. The over under is 42. I really struggled with this one
Me
and
too.
kind of still am. It's in Houston, um, which takes away any New Orleans home field advantage, basically.
Yes.
Um, but I really struggle with this one. Um, I took the over because I thought 42 might be low.
Hmm.
Though both have decent defenses, I like uh, Houston's draft pick quarterback. He's playing pretty well, but I think they're just a little bit away yet. I still think they need a couple more things in their arsenal. New Orleans has the people on offense, but they haven't really overperformed. They haven't really performed up to expectations, I don't think. But I think they
No.
will here against Houston, especially since it's only a 1.5 point spread. Like I said, I really struggled with this. I almost took Houston across the board. I actually have them with a line drawn through them.
Mhm.
I was going to make that my upset pick, but I'm struggling with it. So both ways. I just think I think this could be a close game, though I don't think it'll be a pretty game to watch. But
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that the Saints defense is a little bit better, so I'm taking them across the board and the over. So,
yeah, it's eventually what I did. Though I think Houston might give them a game and might pull that upset. It's only 1.5.
yeah,
So
yeah,
uh Washington, Atlanta, the Falcons are picked by a point and a half as well. The over under is 42.5. You would think it's almost a mirror game of New Orleans, Houston.
yeah, pretty much. And both teams offensively are struggling.
Yeah,
If you shut down Atlanta's running game,
you've got them.
uh,
Yeah.
you got them. And
Ritter's had one good game. That's it.
yeah, he had one good game, and I think the defense of line is a little bit better for Washington, who will probably put pressure on Ritter, and they could maybe stop the run a little bit better. So I'm going to take the Commanders in an upset and take the under.
Okay. I took Atlanta and the over. So I'm going to mark this as Bill's upset pick. And you're right. This could go either way, I think. Atlanta's got a really good defense, but you're right, their offense isn't very good. But I think if they get Robinson running, and I think Patterson's back, and I think he might be another option. Last week Ritter did start to look a little better. I think it'll be close. I took the under as well. I see this being like an earlier Atlanta win, like 17-14, 17-16 or something. So I took the under, but I did take Atlanta. So,
Yeah.
Philly and the Jets. Probably the least enthusiastic anybody's ever said it that way, but and that's only because I'm tired. That's all. Philly and the Jets in New Jersey, 42.5 is the point spread, or is not the point spread, it's the over-under. The Eagles are picked by 7, which I was a little surprised. The Eagles have a couple defenders out. Darius Slay is going to be out, and Carter's going to be out on the D-line. So against a team with a great quarterback, that could be a problem. You know, you're not getting a pass rush, and one of the guys in the back, one of your Pro Bowl guys, isn't there to cover.
Right. But like you said, if it was against a good quarterback.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, as my friend Bill, the co-host of this show, likes to say, that being said,
And I'm not an Eagles fan. But,
no, you're not. I'll give you credit for that. So
and
take the Eagles.
I got to take them this week because I think the next 3 or 4 weeks I'll be going against them. So we're going to take the Eagles across the board and the over. I don't think the Jets have enough offense to.
No, I don't think they do either. Though they might. The Eagles have a history, though, of playing down to their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that gives me pause on the 7 points. But I think their special teams could come into play. And like we said, I think the quarterback for the Jets can have moments, but I don't think he'll have too many moments against Philly. I just don't see it. So yeah, I'm with you all the way on that. I did the same thing. Philly and the over. Detroit and Tampa Bay. I was a little surprised. Detroit's only picked by 3, but then when you figure it is in Tampa Bay, that might be why, because without Tampa Bay being home, I would think in Detroit it might be 6. So I really like Detroit, not just in this game. I think they're up and coming. They're improving. I like Dan Campbell as a coach. We'll bite your knees off. I love that. I mean, he gets them fired up. He gets fired up. But I think the last couple of years, too, they focused on something that they hadn't in a long time, which was defense. I mean, even when they had a decent offense, they'd get outscored. He may have been a tight end when he played, but he realizes, I think, the defense can win you games by itself. And their defense is pretty good. And Jared Goff at quarterback is having a monster season numbers-wise. If you take a look, you'll see he's having a better statistical season this year than he had the year they went to the Super Bowl in L.A. In the long term, I think that trade's going to work out better for Detroit. Though Matthew Stafford got to L.A., won him a Super Bowl, and that's really what they wanted. He's probably going to end up retiring in the next year or 2. Goff's got a good 5 or 6 years left, easy. And if he
Yeah.
plays them at the pace he's playing right now, he's going to do a lot of great things for Detroit. I really like it.
Mhm.
And then most of what they've done is in the draft. And I like that
Yeah.
as well. So I really like Detroit. I took them and the over, though I admit I'm a fanboy of Baker Mayfield. I just like his attitude. And I think he's done better in Tampa Bay than most people give him credit for, or we're going to give him credit for. I think
Right.
people
Right.
are going, this kid, you put him with the right people, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Detroit might be a little bit too much for
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that scares me, Tampa Bay's coming off the bye week, so they're well rested.
him. That's
Detroit,
true.
Detroit, Detroit is going through some injuries, and to be honest with you, Jared Goff, as I agree with you, having a phenomenal year on the road, not so much.
Okay.
So, but I am going to still take Detroit, but I wouldn't really be surprised if Tampa wins this. But I'm going to do the same, Detroit across the board and the over.
Okay. But yeah, I think, and you're right. It wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay either wins it or if they cover, if it's a, 31-30 game or something like that. Detroit has a way of getting them now too, where before they would lose all those. So,
Yep.
uh, Arizona goes to LA to face the Rams. Not necessarily a great home field advantage for the Rams because that stadium, whether it's the Rams or the Chargers, the people coming in get as many seats as the home team does usually. And
Yep. Yep.
Arizona's not far. So it wouldn't surprise me if it sounds like an Arizona game. The only real problem with that is Arizona's not playing well enough to have their own fans interested enough to travel, probably.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And the Rams are playing pretty good, even though they're 2-3. But they
mhm.
got Cooper Cup back,
Yeah.
and the offense is starting to move the ball. And with that being said,
All
I'm going to take the Rams and the over 48.
right. This is as probably close to an upset pick as I might have. Uh, I took the Rams to win the game, but I took Arizona to cover. All right. I think this is a little high. Um, and that's just a hunch. Don't get me wrong. I have absolutely no logical reason. Just something tells me Arizona might hang with them for a bit. But I did take the under as well because I think Arizona's defense isn't too bad. It really isn't. But that being said, it wouldn't surprise me if I get smoked here and the Rams just tear it up.
All right, so you took the under, I took the
But I
over.
took the under, you took the over. I took Arizona to cover the 7.
Gotcha.
That's why it's as close to an upset pick, I think, as I have. Giants and Buffalo. The Giants are starting Walker at quarterback. Daniel Jones is out. Um, Buffalo's got a couple defenders out, but
Yeah, Buffalo's getting decimated with injuries on
with
that
injuries
defensive
on the
side.
defensive side of the football. Yeah, they really are. Um, but
But this,
the
this
Giants
is
got
another
that.
one. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is another. Yeah, this is another one. This point spread's 15, and I think you can give them 20, and they just can't.
Well,
They don't have the offense. They don't have
that
the
was
offense to stay up with Buffalo.
yeah, that was going to be my line. Is the Buffalo's decimated by injury. The Giants are decimated by being the Giants. They're just without a quarterback. And I think Daniel Jones is overpaid, though I like the kid's heart and he tries, but he's not as talented as some of the guys getting the same money or less. Um, I'm with you pretty much completely. I took Buffalo across the board and I took the over. I think is could be a rout.
Yeah.
I just don't see how the Giants can even hang with them. They would need Barkley. They would need healthy, young in his prime Odell, and maybe even young, healthy in his prime Victor Cruz on the other side. They need they need guys that played 10 years ago. and they're not here. Yeah. What's his name? Eli Manning's not walking through the door. Jeremy Shockey or Mark Bavaro at tight end. They're not walking through the door.
Yes.
As they like to say. So I took Buffalo across the board with the over. Though it is 15, that seems high, but with a backup quarterback playing, and he's been out there before and isn't great, but and with Buffalo's defense and pass rush, who knows if he'll last the whole game. I think he's going to see a lot of blue and white in his face all day.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So you're taking the same Buffalo across the board and the over?
Yeah. And the over, yeah.
And the over. Yeah, I was surprised 44, I don't think is that high, but I guess they're probably thinking 38-7, 38-10. Yeah. Because the Giants aren't going to score much. So that's the Sunday night game. We do have a 4:00 game left. I didn't talk about basically because as far as I'm concerned, there's not much to talk about. And that's the Raiders hosting the Patriots. The only thing you could say is this is the Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniel Bowl. It's 40.5 on the over under. Vegas, I'm sure because they're at home, are picked by 3.
Yeah, who would have thought Bill Belichick team would be 1-4 and
Yeah.
probably on the cusp of being 1-5 because the
Yeah.
Raiders look a little better, and I can't pick a team that's struggling. Maybe they get back on track this week, but I'm going to take the Raiders across the board. But I don't think it's going to be very high scoring, so I'm going to take the under.
Okay. I took the over only because I think there could be a defensive touchdown in there somewhere that puts it over the line. But I took Vegas as well. You took the Raiders, right?
Yep, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Abbreviate Vegas. It looks like veg. Oh, dude, I'm a veg today. It's yeah. This is another one that I don't think will be pretty to watch. If you're watching football for entertainment, this is not the game to watch. The game to watch was probably because it was closer and everybody thought was probably the Thursday night game with Kansas City and Denver.
Yeah.
And that's with Russell Wilson not
Oof.
he couldn't complete a pass if he was moving on a girl giving him a massage at his apartment who he tipped very well.
But he had 98 yards passing.
He couldn't even complete that pass. Oh, that's right. He tried. He's getting sued 24 times. So that'll tell you. He can't complete a pass. Don't get me wrong. The Chiefs have a lot better defense than they've had for years. But still, it got no God. That was awful offensively to watch. But it does tell you that Denver's defense isn't as bad as we thought that 70 burger got put on them. Right. I think that was more their offense couldn't keep the ball. You give like Miami the ball that often. Yeah, they're just going to keep scoring on you. Yeah. It's almost sounding like a winning slot machine. Ring, 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 ring. It just kept going and going and going. I mean, Sean Payton's not on the hot seat because they signed him for a whole bunch of years.
Yeah.
A lot of the folks are saying that Russell Wilson's just not the quarterback for his system. And that looks like it could be true. Russ isn't your dink and dunk guy. He likes to throw the ball downfield, and without Judy, I'm not sure he really has. I think Cortland Sutton's not playing very well. They don't really have
Judy may get traded within the next week or two.
It wouldn't surprise me, and he'd probably welcome that. He's like, please send me somewhere.
But maybe Russell's not as good as he
that's
played.
My other thought
really
is
good.
Russell's best
day. Seattle,
but maybe it's why Seattle said, "Hi." Of course, Seattle is still pleasantly surprised by Geno Smith. I don't think they saw that coming either. I think they were ready to start a rebuild at quarterback
Hmm.
and had to play Geno for a year, and he came out smoking.
Yeah.
Give the guy credit for hanging in there all them years. Uh, yeah, I did the same thing. Vegas across the board in the snooze fest, except I did take the over only because, like I said before, there could be a defensive touchdown that takes it over the top, especially by the Raiders, because New England's offense is awful. It's terrible. I don't blame it all on Mac Jones, but my God, it's awful. But they don't have, for years, they always used to plug in receivers. Let's
Hmm.
get a free. I mean, Randy Moss is a perfect example. Let's get a couple guys who, we can get them off a team for a year or sign them as a free agent for a year or two, and it's not working out this time around.
Nah.
And they never really focused on running backs, if you think about it. And I think that's a mistake.
Hmm.
And the O line's just not very good. Mac Jones takes a beating. I mean, I don't think you can blame it all on him. I think you know, and he's on what, his fourth coordinator in 4 years, I think.
Yeah, that's not good when you have a
Yeah,
rotating door like that.
yeah. I mean, he's last year was a defensive guy and somebody else. He didn't even really have an offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach. He didn't have
Yeah, you can't have a defensive guy calling offensive plays. That's just
yeah, it just doesn't work. Um, so yeah, they're in trouble. I think Vegas is going to beat them, even though Jimmy Garoppolo's given the ball away quite a bit this year. Um, I still think I think Vegas has enough in the tank to beat New England. I mean, especially if they just have Josh Jacobs run the ball.
yeah.
Yeah, just run the ball with Josh, and you'll kill time and win the game. Monday Night Football. Here we go again. Dallas visiting Los Angeles. The Chargers used to be from San Diego, California, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Weather-wise is always good. Dallas going in to make sure that they are the 1.5 point favorite, and the over-under is 51.
Yeah, I originally had Dallas down, but there's another team struggling offensively, and the Chargers coming off the bye week,
Yeah.
and they get Eckler back. Um, I think this will be an entertaining game. I think Dallas finally starts getting their offense on track, but
Yeah,
I'm
because
not going to take the.
Chargers
I'm going
defense
to.
isn't very good outside of
Yeah,
both.
they're not very.
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah, and so I'm going to do what I did last week, which I take, even though the home team isn't really that home for the Chargers, but I like the home dogs. I'll take the 1.5 Chargers, and I'm going to take the over.
So you're taking the Chargers across the board and over.
Yep.
Well, that's good for me. We finally have our difference here. I'm going to take, first off, this is Bill's second upset pick. Though, like you said, it is only 1.5. And as much as I don't like the Cowgirls, I that being said, you're right. Their offense is way underperformed. Um, defense is missing a couple pieces. The Chargers defense is missing like 11 pieces, maybe 10. I like Bosa. Uh, that's about it. Um, the defense isn't very good. Herbert can only do so much. I mean, he can't outscore the other team by himself. Um, so I went with even in my heart, it's like skipping a beat because I'm gonna say I'm taking Dallas. Um, across the board, I'm taking the over because, like you said, I think it could be entertaining. I could think they could be slinging it around like crazy because whichever team gets behind is going to have to chuck and duck. So
Hmm.
I'm going with that. Um, I'm going with Dallas to outscore the Chargers. That could be an entertaining game as well. So So there you have it. I'm looking to see games wise. That's one of the few that we have a difference on. So
Atlanta and Washington.
Atlanta and Washington's another one. Yep. And let me put that here. We might have one or two differences on the spread or the over under. Let's see. Yeah, well, we had a difference in the Chiefs game. You won that on the over under. Baltimore were the same. Wow. San Francisco, Miami, Minnesota, Jacksonville were the same, except the over under. I took the under Jacksonville, Indianapolis. I keep calling them Indiana against the Colts. But then we're the same picks wise. No, I took Jacksonville to cover the 4. You think the Colts will be able to cover that? New Orleans were the same. We did have the difference in Washington, Atlanta. We're both the same with Philly, Detroit. You took the Rams across the board. I think Arizona will cover the 7 points. You took the over. I took the under there. That's one of the few that we have a difference. Other than that, that's Buffalo, and then we got the difference against Dallas and the Chargers.
Yeah, so it should be close
Yeah,
results.
we should have some close results. We got 2 or 3 differences. So I was going to say, either you got a chance to either make up ground or pull away, and I got a chance to maybe increase what slim lead I have, if I even have one, and go from there. But other than that, we're on target though, because we both are in the 60 percentile, over 60% off with our spread picks, I think, and definitely with our regular picks. So it's going to be interesting. Over under, we got to be careful. We're starting to take a beating there. I wouldn't bet any over unders right now. Give us a week or two, folks, and we'll have you back on the over under chart as well. And then you'll start making some serious money with us. But I think you'll make some money now following our picks against the spread. Unless you have something else, Bill, I'm ready to say let's go enjoy the games. I think we got one right now, right?
Yep. 10 minutes in.
10 minutes in, Baltimore and Tennessee. And then we got some good games the rest of the day. And baseball starts back up today, technically. The American League Series starts tonight. National League Series starts tomorrow in Philadelphia. As they say in Philly, the hunt for Red October's on, baby. They're just going to keep dancing on their own. But that's going to be an interesting series, I think. If the Phillies bats stay hot, Arizona's in trouble.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And if the guys that are hot now get picked up by Schwarber too, who's so streaky, he could get hot. Man, it could be tough. But you never know. Arizona has been a plucky team all year. They really have.
Yeah.
Texas is playing now like they played most of the season. They went in that swan song and blew the division, but they could, if they keep playing like they are, they could give Houston a nice run for their money. So could have a couple good series there in baseball. Basketball getting ready to start pretty soon. Be interesting to see what happens in Philly. I think eventually Harden will get traded. Might be during the season, but I think he'll get traded at some point. Though he says he understands and like Nick Nurse's system, he wants to leave because the relationship with Daryl Morey could ever be repaired. I think it's Harden just being Harden.
Yeah.
He's still searching for who knows what. Just let him search somewhere else. I wouldn't even care if Philly took a step or two backwards to get rid of him, because in the long run, I think it'll be addition by subtraction.
Right.
He's a team killer, I think, personally. Look, every team he's been with, they haven't improved. The Nets, he sucked with them, sucked the life out of them. So,
Yeah.
if you're Philly, you're almost saying, "Give me back Ben Simmons."
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that's how bad Harden's attitude is, I think. So, and he's inconsistent, whether it's age or whatever. He showed that in the playoffs. He could have a 40-point game and carry your team, or he could have a 4-point game and not even be worthy of carrying the jock straps.
Yeah.
You know, he's just I'm not impressed. So hockey's starting up. Kid Bedard got his first goal, the first round draft pick.
Blackhawks, yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. It's funny how much attention hockey's getting on ESPN now that they cover it the last couple of years, huh? Before they
Yeah, no, that's good.
before they barely touched on it. I will say I feel bad for I mean, we don't know him personally, at least I don't. Guy who I think brought a lot of pizzazz to the NHL was Barry Melrose, who's had to step back due to being diagnosed with Parkinson's. So he's actually retired technically from broadcasting and from ESPN to focus on that. So wish him Godspeed and hope he can deal with this the best he can. It's tough finding that out at his age. He's not a young guy. So all the best to Barry Melrose, who made analysis on ESPN interesting to listen to, and a pretty good coach. So
Yeah.
in his own right, he had the credentials to be able to back it up, and always brought a little bit of color. You know, always brought, had the hair going on. One of the last holdouts of the mullet, you know, business in the front, party in the back kind of thing.
Party in the back.
Yeah, but it looked good on him, you know. It was the old saying, "Oh, it looks good on you," you know.
Yeah.
But on him it did. He brought it out. Fancy pinstripe suits and things, and but he knew his hockey, and he wasn't afraid to disagree with people. So hope for the best for Barry Melrose. Other than that, Bill, I guess it's time to say we're in the CheapSeats. Sayonara, adios, arrivederci, all them things foreign disc jockeys say before they say see you around, pally. Want to thank Dennis again. Thank you for acknowledging the comedy thing. I appreciate it. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get back there before winter hits and maybe do a couple things on the East Coast area and see what we can do. But for now,
sounds good.
For my pal Billy Smith, for all you folks watching and all the staff here at Public John Media, we say thank you. Have a great week. Enjoy the games, everybody, and we'll be back with you later this week for next week's picks and a review. We will see you then. Have a great week, everybody.